Back in June of 2010, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer.
It was December 2009. I went in for a routine physical, and at the end of the day, I found out that I had stage 4 cancer and was given the prognosis of only living 2 or 3 more months.
I was diagnosed on September 18th, 2009. I didn't really know how to react. I was terrified, I was confused, I felt like I couldn't breathe. It was probably the scariest day of my life.
First, I cried a lot by myself.
I was in shock, but then I just sort of started freaking out. Thankfully, that didn't last very long. I held it together pretty well after that point, but the initial shock and everything was pretty rough.
As you can imagine, it was quite disconcerting and very upsetting.
Since 1959, Cancer Services of Baton Rouge has worked with the sole mission of improving life for those living with cancer. As the years have passed, the organization has grown tremendously and works harder than ever to meet the changing medical, financial, and emotional needs of cancer patients and their families. More than 5,000 individuals across 10 parishes are served yearly by Cancer Services of Baton Rouge. Tonight, 3 very different individuals would like to share with you their own unique experiences with Cancer Services of Baton Rouge and the profound impact that this organization has had on each of their lives.
My name is Gabe Hilliard, and I go to Denham Springs High School. I'm a senior, and I have Hodgkin's lymphoma. After telling me I had cancer, there was the good news, I guess, which is never great news after you hear you have cancer. But the good thing was that Hodgkin's is very treatable. It's easy to beat. It's got like a 90% success rate. And so the treatment's not as extreme. I would lose my hair, but I wouldn't, lose bodily functions or other such things that some other kids can suffer from.
My name is Cheryl Dayrees. I'm 39 years old, and I'm a student for medical assistant. I'm a mother of triplets. I've been married for almost 19 years. Some days I wasn't able to do nothing but lay down, but on my days that I felt strong, I would, get up and cook, and I was able to drive after some of my treatments, after maybe the first or second day, but it was hard. It was hard.
I am John L. Daniel. I'm Senior Vice President at J.P. Morgan Chase here in Baton Rouge, and I am a cancer survivor. I never thought it would happen to me, and it sure did. So when I walked in for that routine physical, and I walked out knowing that I had 2 or 3 months to live, that was pretty bad. And you never will understand it unless you face death like I did and face this horrible disease that is indiscriminate. Doesn't matter who you are.
My oncologist would always tell me, have you checked out Cancer Services yet?
I heard about Cancer Services from Mimi, and she asked me if I'd ever been to the Cancer Services building or talked to anyone who had ever participated in Cancer Services. And I told her I had not, and she kept after me, and finally one day I showed up, and it really helped. It was the final piece of the puzzle to my healing.
Dr. Moore told us that Cancer Services offered to give us packs of insurers, and I mean, it was everything that I needed to stay healthy, and it made a big difference. Otherwise, I'm not saying I wouldn't have made it, but it would have been a lot more difficult on my body if I hadn't had, the stamina and the physical ability.
Oh, when you first come in, you get to see the receptionist. They ask, well, what are you here to do today? They'll call to the back to see if anyone's available for you. And they introduce you to a lot of literature and everything, and they, ask you about your day-to-day, how you've been doing and all.
Cancer Services means it's people that care. I mean, honest. Every single person that I've met through this is genuine and real, and they actually, care for me. It's not some kind of, flat-faced organization where people do this because it's their job. It's their job because they love it.
That's what's so great about this place. When you walk through that front door, they don't care if you're old or young or male or female or upper middle class or lower class. They're here to help you. And there's not a whole lot of organizations that operate that way.
Of course, their wig shop was one of my biggest assets here. I was able to come here all the time and, play around with the wigs and trade them in and get more, and hats and scarves and stuff like that. A lot of times I would be low on money and wouldn't have the assets to purchase my own wig. And the one that I was wearing was kind of worn out or looking sideways. And I would come here and go back there and spend time trying on different wigs, and just found 2 or 3 that I liked. That was a big asset to me, being able to feel beautiful.
This past summer I was a mentor at Camp Care, which was awesome. I absolutely loved it. Every day when we go to our places, we take the bus ride and we'd watch a movie. And one day we had the cutest little kid, Eli, came up to the front and started singing for us, and it was so funny because he didn't have to worry about, you know, people laughing or thinking, oh, what is this kid? He's just up there singing, because we all love each other, because we completely level with everybody else, and it's incredible. Camp Care is, I'd say, hope. These kids are going through so much. They're, you know, receiving treatment, they're sick. A lot of them are too young to really get what's happening. And so to have them all come together, be able to get away from that, and to see that they're not so different from the other people, and they can go and just have fun and enjoy themselves and not have to worry about shots or being sick or throwing up or anything like that. They can just be them and be kids and enjoy themselves.
I had great family support, my friends, my coworkers, my neighbors. I had spiritual support from Sister Dulcie, which many of you know about. But the one piece of the puzzle that was missing was being able to talk to someone who had the exact same diagnosis that I did. And when I came to the small support group and walked in the room and saw 4 or 5 guys that had the same exact situation that I had, and saw their outcomes, how positive it was, that's really what gave me the comfort, and that's what I really owe Cancer Services a whole lot for.
Whenever I come by and I see Miss Trish Mann, her smile, and she always gives me a hug and, you know, tell me I'm beautiful and how everything's going and I'm looking good, that really makes me feel good inside.
You know, people would come up and ask me for the longest time, how are you feeling? Does it make you feel, you know, whatever? But these kids actually get it. They've been through it and they understand, and being able to share a bond with those people made a huge impact and made me feel a little less alone.
Well, there's one individual that I met in the small group, Steve. He's 65 years old, I think. He had the same exact diagnosis, stage 4. As you know, there is no stage 5. And Steve told me, he looked me dead in the eye and said, you can make this. I know exactly what you're going through. These people here can help you. They know what to do, how to do it, and if I can go through this battle, you can make it.
Cancer Service to me is a family outside of family.
They appreciate what we've been through and they can understand that, and they are there for us. They're the support. They're always going to have something new to do, something to, you know, remind us that there's people out there who really care about us and who want, you know, to make it easier.
When you're dealing with cancer and you're walking into a medical clinic or an oncology clinic or going to MD Anderson like I did, it's very intimidating. But I didn't have that at all here from day one.
I definitely don't think I'd have the sense of community if Cancer Services weren't there. I still keep in contact with these people that I've met, especially, and a lot of them are younger, and I know their parents, and on Facebook, and I keep up with them. And I feel like my network of friends through that is just massive. And I understand that everybody goes through different things, but these kids, I mean, we're the same. I feel like if I didn't have Cancer Services, I would be missing out on part of my family.
I was able to meet other people and sit and talk with them, and it made me feel a whole lot better to meet other people that were survivors, and, you know, just make me feel that I wasn't alone.
Cancer does take a piece of you, and even though you're healed or cured or a cancer survivor, some of that will never come back. It changes your life forever, and Cancer Services, in their own way, can repair and replace some of the parts and pieces of our lives that have been taken away and we can never get back. You can never get back to 100% of what you were, but these folks can help you get pretty darn close.